Democratic Republic of Congo has accused his predecessor Joseph Kabila of backing a rebel coalition active in the east of the country. President Felix Tshisekedi made the claims after M23 rebels captured a northern border town shortly after a ceasefire was due to begin. This is the world news from the BBC. Niger has become the latest country in West Africa to cut diplomatic ties with Ukraine. Spokesman for the military government accused Kiev of supporting terrorist groups. Mali made a similar announcement 2 days ago, blaming Ukrainian intelligence for helping rebels to kill scores of Malian soldiers and Russian mercenaries last month. Elon Musk's social media platform X is suing a group of major companies for allegedly conspiring to boycott the site. The lawsuit claims they breached U.S. competition rules and deprived the fan of billions of dollars in advertising revenue. Two giants, Unilever and Mars, are among those X says coordinated a pause in spending. The maker of the UK's coins, the Royal Mint, has begun extracting gold from electronic waste. Gold is initially being used to craft jewelry and will eventually be turned into commemorative coins. Our science correspondent Rebecca Morell has more details.
Electronic waste, everything from old phones to dead laptops and defunct TVs, is a problem that's been piling up. But for the Royal Mint, it's now a valuable resource. They're processing the circuit boards from this discarded tech in their new industrial plant. Each board contains tiny amounts of gold, and this is being extracted using chemical processes. They're hoping to take in about 4,000 tonnes of e-waste a year. This is expected to provide up to 450 kilograms of the precious metal.
At the Paris Olympics, the Cuban wrestler Miguel Lopez has won his 5th consecutive gold medal. The feat has never been achieved before by an individual athlete in the same event. Lopez, who competes in the heaviest Greco-Roman weight category, will turn 42 in 2 weeks. On the track, the American Gabby Thomas won the women's 200 meters final. BBC World News.
Thank you so much for that news. Hello and welcome to News here on the BBC World Service with Rob Young and Victoria Uwahunda. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up this half hour, we have stories for you from the US, Bangladesh and France, where Isaac Fanning has all your Olympics news. We do love to hear from you. We welcome your comments and thoughts on anything you hear on the program. Our number on WhatsApp and text is +44 7786 205085.
Well, let's head to the United States now, where the Democratic Party candidate to be president, current Vice President Kamala Harris, has appeared on stage for the first time with her new running mate, the Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. At a Democrat Party rally in Philadelphia, Ms. Harris told the crowd that her team had the momentum to win November's presidential election, and she received cheers when announcing Tim Walz as her running mate.
Since the day that I announced my candidacy, I set out to find a partner who can help build this brighter future. So Pennsylvania, I'm here today because I found such a leader. Governor Tim Walz of the great state of Minnesota.
Well, Tim Walz is a former teacher, football coach and military veteran. He will become vice president if Kamala Harris beats Donald Trump in the race for the White House. Governor Walz also addressed that same rally and hit out at the Republican presidential candidate, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump sees the world a little differently than us. First of all, he doesn't know the first thing about service. Again and again and again, Trump weakens our economy to strengthen his own hand. He sows chaos and division, and that's to say nothing of his record as president. And make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
Our rally is the pair's first stop on a 4-day tour of battleground states as they kick off their campaign proper. Here's our North America correspondent David Willis, who's in Washington DC.
This rally opened with Kamala Harris referring with heavy understatement, I think, to what she called her whirlwind campaign, one that was launched, of course, just over 2 weeks ago. She said, we're the underdogs in this race, but we have the momentum. And I don't think there's many people that will quibble with that. She branded the presidential election campaign a fight for the future. And she said that issues such as the Affordable Care Act, reproductive rights, gun control measures, and so on were at stake here. And she said she'd set out to find a partner who could help her bring a brighter future for people in this country, and she found such a person in Tim Walz.
He's clearly well known in his state of Minnesota. What about beyond that? Is he well known nationally already in America?
Well, that's the big challenge, and the immediate challenge for Tim Walz, because he isn't well known, and with less than 3 months to go before the election here, until quite recently, he was barely known outside the home state of Minnesota. Indeed, a poll that was carried out a couple of days ago by National Public Radio here found that 70% of those questioned either didn't have an opinion about him or never heard of him. So much of Kamala Harris's speech at that rally in Philadelphia was taken up with basically explaining to people who this man, Tim Walz, is. And she painted a picture, a homespun picture of his background, growing up in a small town in Nebraska, working on the family farm, and then going on to serve nearly a quarter of a century in the National Guard here before going into teaching and then to politics, serving 12 years as a member of Congress, 2 terms as the governor of Minnesota.
And why did Kamala Harris choose Tim Walz? What is it about him that she and the Democratic Party establishment think will make Americans who are undecided about who to vote for in November to vote Democratic?
Well, he is 60 years old, that makes him a year older than Kamala Harris, and he's a smiley, avuncular type of man. And indeed, the first thing he did when he took to the stage was to thank Kamala Harris for, as he put it, bringing back the joy to the US presidential campaign season. He's an old school, sort of Midwestern politician, if you like. And I think Kamala Harris is hoping that Tim Walz will appeal to white middle-class voters, some of whom have gravitated over the years towards Donald Trump. Now, those on the left of the Democratic Party will be cheered by his record as governor of Minnesota. It included legislation protecting the right to an abortion, providing for paid family leave, free school meals, and so on. So it's interesting that he was chosen over Josh Shapiro, the governor of the state of Pennsylvania, which is, of course, a must-win state in this US presidential election.
David Willis there in Washington, D.C. Republicans have already responded, as you would imagine, describing Tim Walz as a radical liberal. And the Trump campaign said that Tim Walz would be the worst vice president in American history. That's he would unleash hell on earth. Quite a campaign until the
Let's return to our coverage of the events in Bangladesh. Following Monday's shock departure of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the man dubbed Banker to the Quran Peace Prize winner Yunus has been named as leader of an interim government. The decision was made at a meeting between President Mohammed Shahbaz and the heads of the Students Against Discrimination group who had rallied the mass movement which forced Prime Minister Hasina to resign and flee the country. Going to these talks, the students had made it clear that they would not accept a military-led government and had pushed for Ms. Yunus to lead an interim administration. Hundreds of people have been killed since the protests broke out in July, initially over a quota system for government jobs, but which spiraled into wider government discontent over the crackdown against protesters. So what next for Bangladesh? Let's head to the capital Dhaka and speak to one of those students who took part in recent protests. We're calling her Shalini. Hello, good morning to you and welcome back to the program. First, I want to hear from you what Dhaka looks like or sounds like this morning following the events on Monday.
Following it's kind of a bit calm than yesterday and the day before yesterday. Yes, we were very happy, and we're still happy that a dictator has fallen down. Her regime, her